Hey everybody, Bennett for the Bennett Podcast, and it is time for some theory crafting. It's time for some rumors, it's time for some conspiracy theories. Now, I have, first of all, a confession to make. I subscribe to Valrak. Now, Valrak is a 40k YouTuber. You probably know him. You either like him or don't like him. I think he's quite funny, and you know me. I love listening to like, ooh, this might be coming. Ooh, this might be coming. Now, he's mentioned something that has triggered something in my mind, linking us to the rumors that we're hearing at the moment. So it's entirely possible that we on this channel know something that Valrak does not. And of course, what I'm talking about is preview shows. Oh, Ben, what have you done? You've got to click the thing and make the thing go do the thing. There we go. Okay, so the thing is now doing the thing. So, there is some Games Workshop events going on this year. Now, we're talking preview show here. Now, we've been chatting, we've been hearing rumors, and one of the rumors is that the new version of Blood Bowl 2025 is coming. There's a new box set coming in September. Now, if you want to hear more about that, I go through some of the stuff that's been bandied around on earlier this week. In fact, put the video link here somewhere so that you can click on that if you want to. But the top bit is that there's a box set coming in September this year. Now, it's been a year, basically. That will be a year since we last had something new for Blood Bowl, which I think makes a lot of sense. I mean, we've talked about this before. It's entirely possible that something's coming. Now, we've been looking, and there's a couple of events coming up that I kind of thought maybe is the time that we'll get some Blood Bowl preview. So there is the US Open Tacoma coming up in the 17th to 20th of July. Now, that is a tournament, but if we have a look at the tournament page, they're running a Blood Bowl event, and there's this beautiful little thing here. So in the US Open Tacoma page, Warhammer is returning to Washington State in 2025. Come and join us for an amazing weekend filled with sneak peeks, gaming, shopping, and hobby events in the shadow of Mount Rainier, I don't know, at the Great Tacoma Convention Center. Okay. Forgive me, I am just very, very excited. So, there's a Blood Bowl event happening. There's a preview event happening. It's happening in July, and the rumor is that there's a new box set coming for Blood Bowl in September. Now, some of the rumors that we talked about on Tuesday, they don't make a lot of sense. They don't feel right. In fact, me, Milton, and Ben talk about that a little bit on the podcast that's coming out tomorrow. Basically, it's been a year, right? We got no FAQ at the end of last year, so we thought, oh, maybe something's coming in the spring, and then they dropped the May FAQ. So now we're like, okay, so where are the teams? It's now June. It's basically July, right? And we think, what, Gnomes came out last, September time? Something like that? Was it Gnomes? Have we had Chaos Dwarfs this year? Was that Chaos Dwarfs? That was flipping Chaos Dwarfs, wasn't it? Yeah, Gnomes were March last year. Okay, cool. So we are well due for something from Games Workshop, and it feels like the Games Workshop have caught up with some of their production issues. They had some big production issues, right, which you kind of saw where they skipped a couple of the preview weeks and stuff like this as things were kind of pushed back. But this now, in my opinion, makes sense, and that means absolutely nothing. I appreciate this is a bit of a wish listing screaming into the air, but this would make sense. Okay, if we've got a preview show happening in July, the release date for that, you would be thinking, okay, September makes sense. Now, is this the Warhammer Events site? It is the Warhammer Events site. So let's bounce over to the Games Workshop site, because one thing we could probably do to look at is figure out when Cathay was shown off, because Cathay, which is the most recent army from the old world, when was Cathay shown off? Because we can kind of use that to gauge how long ago. There we go. March. Cathay was shown off in March, and they're now landing in June, which is 3 months, to be fair. Now, if they did a preview show in July, 3 months would be October. So a September box, I mean, we've seen Games Workshop do it before, right? We've seen them drop stuff really quick. What about, sorry, I realize you can't actually see this, so boop. What about Heresy? Because they had a preview for Heresy, and that's coming out real soon. More heresy stuff. Load more, please. When did you do the preview? Because, I mean, the Saturnine stuff is pretty cool. There we go. Saturnine was May. Okay. And that's coming out in the next few weeks, isn't it? So that's May to June to July. Yeah, all right. Okay. I've convinced myself that that's okay again now. I've convinced myself that that's okay again. Okay, so we've got evidence that there's timelines at Games Workshop that makes sense. Like, this is a bit of wish listing. I can't deny it. I am excited for more Blood Bowl releases. Like, that's just what we do here. We do Blood Bowl. We love Blood Bowl. We want more Blood Bowl because more Blood Bowl is more better. So, theory number one, Tacoma preview show, something for Blood Bowl shown off, and it lands in September. That ticks the rumor box. That ticks the where the heck is the Blood Bowl stuff box. And that's simply, I think, the next possible chance for Games Workshop to do a preview. When is Gen Con? Because that is maybe the next time that there's something kicking about. So Gen Con is the 31st of July to Sunday the 3rd of August. And this is July as well. So that was my other thought was, okay, if we don't, I was thinking to myself, when's the next likely, do you know what? The rumor bit dropped and it was like, new version, new box set in September. And I'm like, okay, we've ruminated about this. Let's think timelines. If we track it back, when is a preview show? And I thought, okay, Gen Con might be one, but I think it's been a little while since Games Workshop did a Gen Con release, did a Gen Con preview. Yeah, 2021. And they showed off Korn. That was back when the Korn team came out. So that's 4 years ago. They did stuff in Gen Con. Looks like they had an event at Gen Con a couple of years ago, potentially. Gen Con 2022. Yeah, in 2022 they had a thing in Gen Con. But I don't know. It is possible that that's kind of the other thing they might do. They may try to reclaim Gen Con for Games Workshop, but I mean, they've got a Tacoma sneak peeks. That would make a lot of sense. So that could be it, to the point where I have circled a couple of days on my work calendar to be like, must be at home, because you know what it's like. It's Tacoma, right? It's Tacoma, and that's happening in, where is Tacoma? That's Washington State. What time is it now? It's 2:37 a.m. in Washington State, so it's GMT -7. So it's 8 hours different from it is now because it's British summertime. So if they do the previews, then 8 hours difference. They do it at 6 p.m. Then it's going to be 2 a.m. Yeah. Okay, that's going to be it. Yeah. All right. I'm definitely doing the right thing then by circling my my calendar to be working from home those 2 days, just in case we get a middle of the night showdown from Games Workshop. All right. I want to know your thoughts. US Tacoma Open. They've said we've got sneak peeks. It's Blood Bowl rumors kicking around that we're getting something in September. The timeline seems really perfect, but I was really excited for the May one, wasn't I? So I will hold my hands up and say I get excited, I get hopeful, and I don't know, I guess at some point I've got to be right. Is this it? Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below. What do you think we're going to see coming from? And am I just going crazy waiting for Blood Bowl news? Anyway, thanks very much for watching. We'll be back soon with more Blood Bowl content. Happy blocking.